Oh my gosh, it's been such a crazy couple of days. I've tried to shoot content. I can't even, recall how many times. And now I've been sitting in the quiet on my lunch, trying to kind of find my own quiet time. And what do you know? I'm at a park where there's no one else around. And about 5 seconds after I hit record, a truck pulls up next to me. This is after I've been sitting here for a half hour or maybe actually even 40 minutes with no one else around. And of course, I hit the record button and someone pulls up next to me. So it's been one of those weeks. And let me ask you something, okay? If you have something on your face, if you have a spill down the front of you, if your zipper's unbuttoned, if your shirt's unbuttoned, if something is in your hair, do you want someone to tell you about it? I was presented with this issue this morning and I got to thinking afterwards about it, second guessing myself, as is my norm, and realizing that I should not be second guessing myself, because here's what happened. We have weekly staff meetings, which the new executive director where I work has implemented, and I appreciate so much, because there's so much. Honestly, I know people joke about meetings and stuff, but if you keep it to a minimum, it is effective for keeping communications open. I have learned a lot in these meetings about what is happening across the company that I work for. I've learned a lot in these meetings. But this morning, we're in this meeting. There's probably 15 people in person and 6 people via Zoom. Half of the people are male, half the people are female. And our executive director, about halfway through the meeting, I look over at her and her blouse is kind of puckered. It's a button-down blouse and her blouse is puckered. And I'm like, ugh. I can kind of see her bra through her puckered blouse, but because it's buttoned, you have to be at the right angle to be able to see her bra. So me sitting on the side of the table there was only 2 or maybe 3 other people on the same side of the table as me. So it was only us that could see it if anybody else noticed it. Nobody else in the meeting or on the Zoom could see it because of the angle that she was sitting at. But within 5 or 10 minutes of her moving and talking and stuff like that, another button had popped open. I don't know how many buttons popped open, but by the end of the meeting, she was displaying, her shirt was wide open. It was probably 8 inches open. It was like short of me actually, or anyone saying, hey, your blouse is open. This poor woman was sitting there completely oblivious. And let me tell you, she's not the type of person that would purposely do something like this. I mean, I am sure there are those types out there that would, but she is not one of them. And I felt for her. This is the sort of thing that would happen to me, and I would be completely oblivious to it. I'd be talking to people and waving my arms around and just carrying on, and no one would say anything. So I put myself in her shoes, and I was like, I need to tell her. But I didn't know how to tell her, because as the meeting wrapped up, everybody kind of was saying last minute things to her and stuff like this. And keep in mind, this is a brand new executive director. So what I did is I wrote on a piece of paper really quick out of my notebook, and I tore it off. I said, check your shirt. It might be unbuttoned. And I ripped the piece of paper off. And as I left the meeting room, when she was talking to our superintendent, I turned the paper upside down and I slid it over to her and just bumped into her hand on the table so that I could get her attention but not make a big deal. I slid it across the table to her under her hand. She kind of turned and looked at me like, what are you doing? And I just winked and then turned and walked away. She was very confused, I'm sure. But then as I was leaving the meeting, I was like, I should have just stayed out of it. I just should have kept quiet, right? I shouldn't have said anything. And I felt embarrassed for being the person to call her out, and no one said anything. And about 10 minutes goes by and she comes in my office and she leans around the corner and she smiles and she goes, thank you. And I said, you're welcome. I said, if it was me, I'd want someone to tell me. And she goes, oh, yes. It was wide open, apparently. So I kind of had the feeling after that she was very grateful that I said something. But there's a part of me that's like, sorry, just adjusting the camera because I realized I chopped my head off. Why didn't anyone else say anything? Why was I the only one? And it kind of made me pissed off at my other coworkers for not speaking up and saying something or stopping the meeting, because here she went through this whole meeting. I'm sure all the men noticed it, right? And I'm not saying anything about gender. I'm just saying that this is the sort of thing that you couldn't not notice. Because it started out as a little gap, maybe 4 inches, where it looked like maybe the buttons were buttoned all the way up and it just was a pucker in the shirt between buttons. But then by the end of the meeting, it had worked open to like a huge gap. So there was no way not to see her bra and like her under things. My point being, in the aftermath of slipping the note to her, I felt embarrassed. It actually took her coming to say thank you for me to go, oh, okay, she was grateful. I was actually afraid that she would be mad that someone would point out this embarrassing thing. And now I'm shaking my head going, why would I be ashamed of that? Why would she be upset by that? And if she would have been upset by that, that's not my problem. I literally have the best of intentions and I'm trying to help. That's how we can tell from one person to the next whether someone's toxic, whether someone's unhealthy for us, whether someone's safe, because you need to look at them, look at their intentions, look at how they're behaving, look at their efforts. Those are the kind of people I want in my life. Those are the only kind of people that I want in my life. This is the kind of person that's going to have your back in life. Someone who's going to tell you if you have mustard on your face. Someone who's going to tell you if your blouse is popped open. If you have a piece of toilet paper stuck to the back of your pants. Someone who's going to have your back. That's the kind of person that you want in your life. So even though it's been a crazy week, that's my lesson for today. And I figured I'd share it with you. And I hope it was helpful, and if nothing else, entertaining. And I am so glad that we have a new executive director with a half an ounce of brains who's not emotionally unhinged like the last executive director, who is beautiful in her own right, but had a little bit of issues when she was on the job. Anyway, hope you guys are doing well and take care of yourselves as always. Thanks so much for tuning in to Whole Wellness with Ann. Till next time. Bye.